just wait for people to join the thing. I want to have at least one person watching this video. It is 12:30 in the morning, so... Hey, we got a person watching. Who's there? 2 people. Cool beans. Bear with me for a moment. Getting the phone set up proper. Whoa! Okay, there we go. What's up, YouTube? Okay, there we go. So I got a ThinkPad X230 Tablet here. It's in a bajillion pieces right now. I got a battery for it. Came straight from China in this really sketchy box. I guess they didn't want Lenovo to sue them for potentially making a counterfeit battery, because they covered up the label. They covered up the label. They covered up the Lenovo part of it. So I guess they didn't want Lenovo going after them like Apple did, because of the Lenovo logo being present. But now that's been taken off. They just literally got some like black tape or something and covered up the Lenovo logo on the battery. But this is a genuine 9-cell battery. Looks like it may have been used before. I'm interested to see how many cycles are on this whenever I get this all back together. Just get this box out of the way. Whoops, there goes my drink. And here's an entirely new display assembly. I got a pretty good deal on this on Mercari, which is like eBay, except no one knows what it is. This is actually for an X220 tablet, not an X230 tablet, but they are the exact same part, just have a different bezel on them, or a different model number. The only part that changed is this part here. This says X230 tablet, but it should work in the X230. And here's the base of it. I'm going to be giving this a little bit of a cleaning. It is kind of dirty. Here is the keyboard bezel. Palmrest needs to be replaced because look at this. That's atrocious. Same with the keyboard. It's pretty worn out and it has some keys missing. And do a T430, dude. I mean, Dell Latitudes are crap. Call them Cratitudes. Crapitudes. Something like that. Let me bring that chat up again. X240 is pretty solid too. It depends on if you value power or portability. The T430 is going to be a much more powerful system. X240 will be a lot more portable. Okay, I'm just going to move this over here. And this is an extra bottom part I have. Basically, I ordered a bottom for an X230. They accidentally gave one for an X230 tablet. So what it comes down to now is which one's in better shape. I think the other one's in better shape. This one's really beat up. Just throw it. I'm not going to use that keyboard. It's junk. I think I have a spare T430 keyboard that I can put in here. I think. I hope. So this doesn't solve the palmrest situation, but we at least have a keyboard that is aesthetically presentable. Anyone else say anything? No? Okay. I always try to answer you guys' chats. What is kind of interesting, though, the keyboard that came with it, the track point button, the middle scroll button, the dots are bluish, or purplish. And on this one, they have more of a gray color. I think you can see the difference on camera. Look at how yucky that track point looks. It looks like it's seen better days. Still works. I mean, like, this is a good testing keyboard, but it is missing a lot of keys, and it's pretty beat up. Eventually, I want to. You are a graphic artist. Mostly going to use the laptop with a drawing monitor, again, Photoshop. Yeah, that's up to you. I would go for the T430. However, the X240, if you get an IPS display for it, it will be a much better quality display than what the T430 has. Okay, so let me get the keyboard and the junk rest out of the way. Get the battery out of the way too. The battery that had the logo cover. That's what. Was the inspiration for this live stream. I got this brand new Lenovo ThinkPad X230 Tablet battery, and the Lenovo logo was covered. Like, they had put black tape over it. And my guess is they didn't want to be sued. Like, who was the people that got sued for having a quote-unquote counterfeit battery? Or counterfeit something? It involved like iPhone screens or something. I don't know. So, let me taking this motherboard out, and we are going to be. Whoops, didn't want to do that. Going to be repasting the CPU, because that's a good thing to do. Okay. Says there's screws somewhere over here. Oh, that's the express code slot. Never mind. Okay. Any other messages? Okay. Yeah, this is an X230 tablet. I've decided to replace my X230 non-tablet with the X230 tablet, just for shits and giggles, really. Alright, someone has clearly been in here before. That screw is in way too tight. Oh, and I just stripped it. Great. That's what I like to do. And all else fails, just push in as hard as you can. You know. That's just peachy keen. Do I have a rubber band somewhere that I can use to not strip this? Or something. Anybody in the audience have a rubber band? I wonder. Think a tape has a strong enough adhesive? No, that just made it worse. Okay. Maybe we won't be repasting the CPU. This stinking computer will not cooperate. Yeah, someone has clearly been in the system before because it's a mess in here. Like, all the screws are stripped already, and there's a few screws that are missing, so someone was in here before, you know? Let's get the Bluetooth card out. Yeah. Even the stinking wireless card screws ridiculously screwed. I still have the MacBook Mid 2010. I'm using it as the base machine to compare. Even with an SSD and 8 gigabytes RAM, I'm pushing it to its limits. I assume the T430. Oh yeah, the T430 would be a huge upgrade. Oh yeah, W530 is a solid option too. I've wanted to get a hold of one of those. My university actually has some W530s. They mostly spend their time on a desk being used as class registration computers. But yeah, my university has them and they do stuff with them. It's cool. Okay, let's get the power connector disconnected. Alright, great. Now I have to loosen the VGA screws. See, I like how ThinkPads with VGA ports, they still have the screws, but it's annoying because they use them to kind of hold the motherboard into the roll cage and makes it annoying when I'm trying to take the motherboard out, which is what I'm doing right now. I'd love to play some music, but I don't want the YouTube copyright police going after me, you know? Oh. Okay. Oh, hey, there's 4 gigs of RAM in here. Sweet. I didn't even realize that. Okay. Alright. Cool. So there's 4 gigs of RAM in here, PC3, Samsung, no, good stuff. So I'm going to try and unstrip this screw without getting any other tools or something. If I had a rubber band somewhere, I could probably use that as a grip for the screw, but that might not happen. I also have no idea how this is looking right now, so if this looks like crap, I apologize. Excuse me. So this screw is for the fan assembly. Okay, let's see if I have another bit I can use. Sometimes if I get a different bit, I have a little bit more success. Excuse me. Getting over a bit of a cold here. So I apologize for any coughing or wheezing or passing out or anything like that. At this point, the screw is so stripped. Like I'm not putting this back in. Like this is ridiculous. And let's not do that. Oh. I'm based in the Philippines as well, and was very lucky to grab a W530, and it's a good shape, lovely. Actually, T430, I have 5, but those on GPU. I want a ThinkPad so bad, so do I. I'm also considering an X200 tablet, mostly because of the active pen and screen, but yeah, the Core 2 Duo is not going to be much of an upgrade for your MacBook. Oh, it's a white MacBook. I have a white MacBook too. An A1181, early 2008. Holy crap, I have the same screwdriver kit. It's good stuff. HBook ZBook 17, good stuff. Yeah, so I'm actually working on a video about the MacBook here. I'm going to try and install. It's one of the models that only supports up to macOS 10.7.5, and I'm looking to. Hold on a second. That bezel's coming off. It's bothering me. It's one of the ones that only supports up to 10.7.5, and I'm going to be patching macOS El Capitan to run on there. Make a video about it. What were we doing? Oh, we were trying to get this stinking screw out. Gosh, I'm literally gonna break this motherboard just trying to get this stinking screw out. It just won't come out. It's being a pain in the rear end. If anyone can like use their magic to go through the interwebs and get this screw out, that would be greatly appreciated. It is literally jammed in there, and I don't want to break it. Well, I'll loosen the screws for the fan assembly. I don't have a drill. That's a problem. Mine's A1342. Oh yeah, the A1342, so that's like the unibody white MacBooks. I used to have one of those. I sold it. Then I lost my money on it because eBay's a pain in the butt. Yeah, I had this A1342 MacBook, and it... What was I going to say? I actually have another A1181 at home. I have two A1181s. Brought this one to school, the other one's at home. I should get it the next home. The A1342, it had some type of motherboard problem. And I couldn't fix it. I tried forever to try and fix it, and it just wouldn't work. So I put it up on eBay as a 4-parts machine. Some guy bought it. 28 days later, he complains about it being a non-working machine and how I took it to the Apple store and they said it would need a motherboard replacement. And I'm like, well, I listed it as a 4-parts machine, and you bought it fully knowing that it wasn't working, and you didn't complain about it for a whole month. He just was trying to scam me out of money. And eBay being eBay and PayPal being PayPal, they took the money out of my PayPal account without even telling me and refunded him, and he never sent the MacBook back. And that is one of the reasons why I don't sell on eBay anymore. Okay. Okay, I guess that's what we're doing. We're literally just bending the metal. That's not good, but that's what happened. And this metal is so thin, too. Like, I didn't even... It's not like I was prying up on it to get it to bend. It just... You know. Alright, time for some alcohol. I know I'm going to need some after trying to get that stinking screw out. I'm kidding. I don't condone or endorse the use of alcoholic beverages while working on vintage laptops. This is rubbing alcohol. Or something like that. Probably shouldn't be using paper towels, but I don't care that much. This is my own personal machine. I'm not going to be selling this or anything, so I don't care if I screw it up. I honestly don't. think I might rename my YouTube channel Sebi's Random Midnight Streams. Sebi's Random Midnight Tech Streams. I'll see what you guys think. Okay. Yes, it's an X230 tablet. Whoever just said that. And this is a pretty rare version. This has the Core i7 and the multi-touch display. Most of these do not have those. Most of them are the i5 versions. Someone sold this to me quite a while ago, and only now have I had a chance to really do anything with it. This is the one that I cannibalized the screen from for my non-tablet X230. So my non-tablet X230 over there, it has the screen from this. Because the display housing, it was completely broken. The glass was coming apart. Like, it was not worth trying to fix. So I just got a new display assembly and then took the screen out of it for the non-tablet X230. Okay. Good enough. Okay. Try not to get thermal paste all over myself either. It's not fun to clean off. Where is my thermal paste anyway? Yeah, there we go. It's cute. It's cute. Up here in Canada, British Columbia. I've always wanted an X2 something tablet. Yeah, they're pretty nice machines. They're pretty nice machines. They have their issues, but so does every laptop. Put some new thermal paste on. Cue all the comments telling me I'm using too much thermal paste. Yeah, I probably am, but none of my computers have exploded yet, so it is what it is. Bend this back. Down. Yeah, about half the screws from this I'm not putting back in because they're stripped so badly that, like, it's not even worth it. Usually tough books and tablets. What's the context of that? Your videos inspired me to get a T440p. T440p's are very solid machines. Like, I'm not a big fan of the modern redesign. Like, that sucks. The keyboard sucks. The touchpad sucks. But you swap it up for a T450 touchpad, get a quad-core i7 in there, 1080p IPS display, and it's a really solid machine. Actually have one right in here. It's underneath some stuff, so I won't show it now, but I do have a T440p. Might make a video about it, might not. I've made like 4 or 5 different videos about the T440p, so kind of done with that for the time being. Okay, so spray some. Whoa, a lot of dirt came out of there. That was disgusting. Was not expecting to get annihilated with dust. Okay. Currently using a 2009 Dell Inspiron something Linux Mint 64-bit. Cool. I just realized I don't know where the screw for the express card slot went, because I loosened the one. Okay, there. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna put the motherboard here for a second. I'm gonna wash my hands because I got a little bit of thermal paste on me, and that stuff's disgusting. Back, boys and girls, whoever's watching. Remember to wash under your nails. Okay, Mom. So, if this was like a full-blown like restoration video or something, I'd probably get some magic erase on this and make it look all nice. But for the sake of time, I'm just gonna... What the heck is this? What in... is this? There's like goo. I don't even know what that is. It's just like caked in there. Let's not have it. That's Look at that. It's like just, I don't even know what it is. It's just something that's like caked in there. That's disgusting. Look at that. Oh, man. Yummy. Okay. Yeah, it's caked into some of the vents down here, too. Just excuse me, I'm going to take this over. How's everybody's evening? Like, well, it's 1 in the morning where I am, but how's everybody's day going? It's morning for some places, evening for others, afternoon. I don't know, it could even be... I don't even know it. I don't want to know what the... don't really want to know what this stuff is that's like just caked into all the vents. Yeah. Almost good enough to eat. Whatever that is. Try to get a little more of that stuff out. I'm just taking a very fine pin. I'm just scratching out inside there until the crack comes out. I'm in Canada. It is cold as flat. I get sick of sellers on eBay. They jack up the prices on all their machines and charge out outrageous shipping fees. Yep, shipping's a pain in the butt. Canada. I'm possibly going to Canada in the spring. The choir I'm in, we're thinking about going to Toronto. But the other choice was New York City, and everyone likes New York City, so we're probably going to New York City. It's pretty cold here, too. It was very hot yesterday. It was 90 degrees out yesterday. And then today it was like 65. And I was just outside before I made this stream, and it was a very brisk temperature. Hi all. Other side of Canada. So like British Columbia, Vancouver maybe, out that way. I actually had yeah. I had a choir director last year. She was a voice teacher at my school, and she was from Central Canada. Just wash it in the sink, hot soapy water. Yeah, I would do that if this was like a thorough thing, but then I'd have to wait a bajillion years for it to dry, and I don't really want to wait for it to dry. So I'm probably just gonna like get a paper towel or a microfiber cloth, get this damp. If I go to New York, visit Louis Rossman's store. Yeah, that's the plan. That's the whole reason I want to go to New York, is just go to Louis Rossman's store, because I should do a video with him. I'll hit him up, be like, yo, Louis, you want to do a collaboration about ThinkPads or something? Quebec is better than everything else in Canada. Parlez-vous français? Oui? Je ne parle pas français. What was I gonna do? Yeah, I think I'm just gonna like wipe this down. I'm not gonna do like a real good job of cleaning it, because I just want to get this back together and up and running. If I decide that it really needs to be clean, like this is in pretty rough shape, so I'm honestly probably just gonna replace it at some point. But for the time being, I just want it working, so I'm not super concerned about it. Probably could use magic erase on here and get a lot of these little scratches out. Make it look a little bit nicer. But again, this is a quick and dirty job. Ugh, that power jack is really dirty. Yuck. It's kind of funny how the area under where the battery is, it's like really nice and smooth, like brand new. And then all the areas here, like there's scratches everywhere. I mean, that's the way that works, but you know. Uh-oh, nearly lost my paper towels. I think it's better to be using like a microfiber cloth on this or something. I'll do the finishing job with the microfiber cloth, but just for the sake of getting all the dirt and gunk off of here, I'm just using a paper towel. Came with a Windows 7 Pro sticker. I always like those. This is from April of 2013. ThinkPad battle scars indeed. I only have the bell on for 3 YouTube channels: Bill Gates, Linus Tech Tips, and me. Thank you. I unsubscribed from Linus Tech Tips because of the whole making fun of the TrackPoint fiasco, where that idiot, whoever his name was, it wasn't Linus. I like Linus. But the other guys there, and I like that Anthony guy. Is that his name? Anthony? The one that like actually knows a thing or two about computers? I like them, but the other guys at Linus Media Group, especially the guy that made fun of the TrackPoint, like I literally unsubscribed from Linus Tech Tips. Like I almost forgave it. And then they released a tech wiki about how IBM sold off its PC division to Lenovo, and again they made a jab at the TrackPoint, and I'm like, you didn't learn your lesson the first time? So I unsubscribed from TechWiki and Linus Tech Tips. Sometimes I'll still watch the videos, but that really ticked me off. Hashtag TrackPoint Lives Matter. Do you ever have a problem where people pick on you for using slightly out-of-date hardware? Because I do, and I get told to upgrade to current. I wet sand the ThinkPads and they look new after. Yeah, I was going to do something like that, or use like the magic eraser on here. But I'm just wanting to get this all back together and working. I don't really care about how it looks for the time being. I actually don't get that many comments about using an older laptop. Like, I use a T60p from 2006 as my daily driver right now, with the T61 motherboard. And I think only one person has said anything about it. So, excuse me. So that's that. And I'll like pretend to wipe off the motherboard. This is how you clean a motherboard. Yay! So just get the power jack back in here. Maybe. I'm like awkwardly standing over here. How's my phone's battery doing? 77%. Good. I have it plugged in to charge, but sometimes streaming actually makes it drain even when it's plugged in. And yes, my desk, before anybody asks, yes, my desk is usually this much of a mess. It's organized chaos. I'm not entirely sure what this little thing does. There's like a thing, it looks like a sensor for where the pen goes. That's another thing, I don't have a pen for this, I have to get one. There's like a sensor here for where the pen goes, and it plugs into the motherboard. But I don't know if it actually does anything or not. Probably does, but I don't know. It's always sorry to get these motherboards in because of the way the like this is all one board. I think on the X200, X201, this is a separate board. What is your, do you use an external GPU? Oh my god. What is happening? I don't know what is happening. Life is happening. Are you using the OEM cord for your phone? Also, if not, then which cord / how long is it? I don't use the OEM cords because I'm using an iPhone, and the iPhone charging cords are crap. I have this Duracell charging cable from, I literally got it at like a dollar store. It's a Duracell charging cable. It's 10 feet long. It actually has metal tips, like not tips, like, but like the part of the USB connector that you touch, that you grab onto, it's made of metal. Like it's a very high quality braided cable. Look at that. Look at that, how nice it is. It's a 10-foot cable. It's really nice. Do you use an external GPU for your laptop? No, I don't, because I have a much more powerful desktop. But I do have, underneath all of this mess over here, a 2503 advanced docking station. Hello, let's go. There we go. I have a 2503 advanced docking station for the T60, T61, T400, T500, W500. So, yeah, I have that, but I don't regularly use a GPU with my laptop, just because I have a desktop. What is your newest machine? What is the performance delta between that and an old one anyway? The newest machine I actively use is my X230, soon to be this X230 Tablet. Ooh, that's heavy. I have a T440p, which is a little newer. I just sold a T450. But yeah, newest machine I actively use is my X230, and I guess this desktop. What's the performance delta between that and an old one anyway? Yeah, an i5 3rd gen is still perfectly fine for almost anything, and if you upgrade to a quad-core i7, then you should be absolutely fine. Hi, how do you manage your time as a university student plus your hobby plus video creation and editing? Video creation and editing / ThinkPads, that is my hobby. It's a hobby. Like, I don't do this for a living or anything cool like that. In case you guys haven't noticed, I don't upload videos that often, and I'm thinking about doing more of these live stream type videos when I do work, because it just makes it easier for me. Instead of having to go through all the, like, editing videos and stuff, I can just make a quick live stream, upload it, get views, get money, you know. Yeah, so, but like I'm always so busy with school and stuff that I generally don't upload that often. Like, even during the summer months, I don't always upload very often. It's been about a month and a half since my last video. I am working on one. I'm finishing up It's called, it's going to be called the $5 ThinkPad. And it's about a ThinkPad T440 that I picked up at a flea market for $5. And other than missing a hard drive, it was fully working. So I'm really excited for that video when it gets done. Just busy with school. School is a huge hassle because like I have classes from 9 to 3. And then I have a couple of hours that I can kind of just do whatever I want. And then I have a theater rehearsal in the evening for about 3 hours. And that takes most of my energy out. And then when I finish that, like I'll generally work on homework, do assignments, occasionally work on a laptop. And then like if I have time or I have energy, I will work on a video. But most of the time I'm just too tired and I fall asleep. So, you know, school is hard. It's very difficult for me to juggle it with this. But I do have an incentive to make videos, and it's because I do make money off videos. And it's not a lot of money, but it's more than the job I have pays, so that's not entirely, I shouldn't say that, but they have jobs here at school, they pay minimum wage, and you're limited to only 8 hours a week, which is nice because they can't overwork you, but it sucks because it's like, I want money. I want money! Give me money! Money! No, there's another screw here. Where is it? Okay, that's not one. And I just dropped a screw. It landed on my shoe, though. Money. Yes, money. By hobby, I did mean repairing ThinkPads. Do you dust off motherboards with a soft paintbrush? Sometimes. Have you seen the newest Toughbook 55? It is sure all modular AF, but it costs as much as a blank check. Don't know what that is. I did see an article about that, but I didn't get to read it. I'm interested to see what the Toughbook 55 has to offer. I did work on a Toughbook once. My sister's boyfriend, he works for some security company, and they use Toughbooks. And he had one with a dead screen, so I was able to fix that up for him. I was going to make a video about it, but ended up not being able to because my camcorder died. And the video footage was lost, so that didn't happen. Isn't the CPU soldered in the X230? Yes, it is. Better make sure to use anti-static brushes on electronics, so just clean the motherboard. Yeah, you would want to, ideally you would want an anti-static brush, but I've never used one, and I have yet to, knock on wood, I have yet to brick a motherboard from static electricity or static discharge. Most motherboards made in the last 10 to 15 years have a lot of fail-safes in place and a lot of foolproof measures to make sure you can't just bust a board by looking at it the wrong way. So, I'm not too concerned. And besides, ThinkPads are known for being durable machines. Okay, that's in there. I think I just have one more screw. Maybe. I'm not sure. There's one right there. Oh, now comes the fun part. Get to put the screen in. Okay. Well, the electronics are already grounded in the motherboard. Yes. Have you seen Joker? No, I haven't. Not quite. You talk about the new movie? Yeah, I haven't seen that. It's the other thing about being in school. I kind of, takes me away from pop culture for a while. At least when it comes to, like, movies and stuff. Have to catch up on everything when I'm back home. This is my first time, actually. I've had this for like 3 months. This display. Haven't really had a chance to look at it or anything. This is an accident waiting to happen. Sebi's Random Tech, an accident waiting to happen. That sounds pretty accurate, right? There we go. Ew, there's hair on here. Oh, that's nice. There's a scratch in the... Great. Hey, I got the ThinkPad meme and got a T430. Went over and found the hard drive has no cache. Should I get one with the new SSD? I mean, ideally you do want a caddy because not only does it help prevent vibration damage, but it also prevents the drive from getting thrown out of alignment and screwing with the SATA connector on the motherboard. But you don't necessarily need one if you're using an SSD. So this is great. There's some really bad scratches right here, and I'm pretty sure the seller did not say anything about said scratches in the listing. So I'll be having a word with him. All in all, this is not in too terrible of condition. That's interesting. It has a knockout for the fingerprint reader, but there is no fingerprint reader in there, it looks like. Yeah, I don't think there's a fingerprint there. Fingerprint reader. Okay. Maybe I will be taking this apart after all, because I do have the fingerprint reader from my X230 tablet thing. Can I get this? Hello? Thing? Computer? Ribbon cables are annoying. Never used an SSD in my life. Yeah, it sucks not having an SSD. And I'm a little disappointed with this thing. Oh, that's interesting. It doesn't have a webcam. I didn't even know they made these without a webcam. Huh. Okay, I guess I don't have to worry about someone spying on me, because there's no stinking webcam. This is interesting. And here's the remnants of the X230 tablet. Screen assembly. Do have a webcam up there. And there's a fingerprint reader on there. I run GNU Linux, so... ThinkPads with Windows 8. Those are two things that should not be in the same sentence. Honestly. Okay, so I will be putting the X230 tablet bezel in there, mostly because I want to have the fingerprint reader. GNU Linux. I'm going to be experimenting with Linux. I recently acquired a ThinkPad X301, and those have very low power CPUs, and they struggle enough with Windows. Oh no! I just don't want to drop stuff on this channel. Sebi's Random Drops. The X301 can barely handle Windows 7. I'm very excited and scared to see how it handles Windows 10. But I will most likely be putting some distro of Linux on there. Okay, now this looks okay. So I wasn't planning on doing this, but we are going to do it. Going to be popping off the bottom bezel here. There's 5 screws that hold the bezel on here. Or is that a bezel? I don't know. I don't know proper terminology. I just say stuff and... and try not to lose any of these stickers. Oh no! No! I didn't want to do that. Darn it. Just dented one of them. So that one is not going to look as good. That one we got off okay. I have dual boot Windows 10 Linux. I think the latter does quite the boost. Gets 7200 RPM HDST is not bad. In fact, right back here is a 1 terabyte HDST drive. Those are pretty good. But I still like having SSDs as boot drives. Ooh, 3840QM, not bad. Dual boot Windows 10, yeah. These bezels are so annoying, or not bezels, these stickers. I don't get why they put stickers over top of the screws. It's just really annoying. Because then it looks weird when you don't have them on, but then they're such a pain to get on and get off and try not to lose them. And there we go. Now I have to switch out my bits. Take these off. I get annoyed when I walk into a coffee shop and see stickers on the top of a laptop. Does anyone try installing an MSATA drive on the older ThinkPads? Well, the X230 Tablet accepts MSATA SSDs. I could pop one in here, but I don't have any on hand. I have one 250 gig MSATA SSD that's being used by my desktop. Yes, this is an older desktop. Yeah, the X220, X230, T420, T430, all of the Sandy Bridge and Ivy Bridge ThinkPads, they can accept MSATA SSDs. And then starting with the Haswell ThinkPads, they can take M.2 drives. SATA M.2 drives, I should say. I think the T460 was the first one that supported NVMe drives. Probably won't be able to get a refund from the seller on this display because I bought this thing 3 months ago. It was literally sitting in the box for 3 months because I just never got around to doing this. I only paid like $25 for this, so I can't complain too much, but I'm still a little bit disappointed that it's not in as good of condition as it was advertised to be. MSATA drives on, yeah, they only run at say at 2 speeds, but I don't know how this could have happened during shipping though. Like, it's very clearly scratched, but it was covered in bubble wrap, so and it was in a box, so like I don't know how it got scratched during shipping, unless he scratched it while he was packing it and just didn't bother to tell me about it. This is not the proper way to do this. Huh, that's cool. You just put a blank in there. So theoretically, I could actually take the reader off of here and transplant it on. Because the X220 tablet, the bezel's in better shape. So I actually might do that. Oh, darn it. I broke one of the snaps. And the same snap's broken on this one. Great. Ah, darn it. Life is disappointing. Woe is what I know. I should not be doing screwdriver stuff right on top of the screen. I don't care. Good night. I did not use a razor opening it. I was nowhere near that section. I'm gonna go. You guys have a good night. Yeah, I know, it's really late. It's 1:30 in the morning. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be here for you, dude. Should have used a playing card? What? Whatever. Oh, for the opening the bezel. Yeah, that makes sense. But that was probably just me being clumsy. I don't think this was entirely my fault. Or entirely... I mean, these things are so... If there's two things I hate on laptops, it's covered up screw... Yeah, it's 1:30 p.m. Saturday. 1:30 p.m.s. Two things I hate on laptops or on computers. Snaps and... Look at that. There's the blank. Cool beans. Snaps and... my ass. I don't know. How is this even... Oh. No? Yes. How do you... Oh, okay. I see how it goes in. Cool. So we're going to have an X230 tablet with an X220 tablet bezel. It's going to be great. Frankenpads to the extreme. I just like hinges being threaded into brittle cheap plastic instead of threaded inserts. I agree with you there. Thankfully with ThinkPads don't have to worry about that most of the time. I hate snaps, any type of snaps. So the T440 onwards where they have the snapped bottom, I hate those. And they have captive screws, but sometimes the captive screws become not captive and then you lose them. And that gets annoying. I hate losing screws. I hate losing screws. I dislike the whitelists on some ThinkPads, like the display whitelist on the T450, T450S, X250, X240, and T550/W550S. Those bother me. Okay. Now we have a spare X230 tablet bezel, just for fun. And then in here, yep, underneath this tape here, we have the little connector for the fingerprint reader. So that would just pop on. Theoretically. Is it in? Oh, it's in. Okay. It was just hard to tell. It's just such a tiny connector. That should be fine. If we plug this in and it doesn't work, well, no. I'm going to put this on my lap. You can't see what I'm doing, but that's fine. Going back to snaps for a second, another thing I hate about snaps is when you have all of them in and then there's one you didn't do right, so then you have to go and do them all again. That's what happened to me right now. But I think I fixed it. Yep. Alright, bezel's back on. Now to put the screws back in. Can we put an LTE card on T430, T530, W530 using Hamish-Coleman's hack? Don't know. I don't think the Hamish-Coleman hack covers the Wi-Fi whitelist. So I think you have to core boot the machines to get rid of that, or do some other type of modified BIOS. I would really like to modify the BIOS on my T420 or T520 so I can accept Ivy Bridge processors, or even core boot or do something similar on a T430 to remove the wireless cards. But I don't necessarily want to core boot because core boot doesn't work too well with Windows, and I need Windows. Some people hate me for that, but it's just what I have to use for the software I use for my major. And then also for like editing YouTube videos and stuff. Like I do everything in Windows. I'm not going to relearn an entire operating system and change my whole workflow just to please people who like Linux. I don't mind Linux, I like Linux, and it's very useful in the ThinkPad community, especially for things like BIOS patches and changing the EDID on a display, that sort of thing. But I just don't like using it as an everyday operating system. It has its place, and some people like it, and that's fine, more power to them. But for me, I don't like using it as an everyday operating system. I use it as more of a tool, as more of a utility, than as opposed to as a operating system for like consumption and stuff. All right, screen's back on, or the bezel's back on the screen, or whatever. Trying to get all, like the bubble wrap is printed, indented into the display, so I'm trying to get it off of there. Okay. Now let's get our stickers back on. Getting stickers back on is... I hate taking these off, they're such a pain in the neck, but I will say that it's very satisfying to get them back on, even though you guys can't really see what I'm doing. What kind of Windows-only software do I use for my major? Lots of stuff. It's too much to really... Honestly, I don't remember the names off the top of my head. Right now I'm not using too much, but like... it's just a lot of compatibility issues. So, hold on, there we go. Hello? Sticker, there we go. We have to use Outlook for a lot of stuff, like for... So we all have Outlook, we use that for our campus email. And we use the Office suite, we use some... Windows 7 support is coming to an end January 2020. Are you going for Windows 10? I use Windows 10 on my desktop and on a couple of my laptops. I don't have much of a choice in my university because my university, they have proprietary software that you have to install on your computer to connect to the internet. I think it's called like Bradford Security Agent or Bradford Persistent Agent or something like that. It's kind of a custom program, and it doesn't matter if it's the wireless or the Ethernet, you have to install it. And if you like miss a single Windows update, it won't let you connect to the internet at all. It really sucks. And I have a laptop that has Windows 7 on it. I put it on the network, and I got an email. They said that whenever support for Windows ends in January of 2020, I will not be able to connect to the internet on that laptop, which is really stupid because instead of investing money in a better firewall or a better security on the campus network, they just basically neuter everybody's computers and everybody's internet connection. So the university I'm at will not let me connect to the internet on a Windows 7 computer whenever Microsoft ends support. It's really stupid, but it is what it is, so I'll have to move to Windows 8 or Windows 10. Honestly, I've not been on Linux since I got to school, so I don't even know if the software works on Linux. It works on Mac OS, so that's good, I guess. The MacBook I have there is so old it probably doesn't support it. It works on my phone, which is good. Let's get this hinge in. Wow, I just noticed that too. Alright. Actually, maybe we can do that tonight. I'm going to make a live distro of Linux, and I'm going to put it on the ThinkPad X301, because I don't have a hard drive for it yet, because it uses 1.8-inch hard drives. And then we'll see if it works with Linux. If I can't connect to the internet on Linux on the university network, then that will pretty much solidify that, at least for as long as I'm in college, I will not be using Linux as a daily OS. Okay. Alright, so we have the display in securely. Sweet. I never buy new computers. I buy older used ones. PC manufacturers will tell you to buy a new one, blah, 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 blah. I finally made it to one of your streams. Sweet. Install classic shell. Alright. Now we have this thingamajig. Helps if I... Okay. I think I'm going to clean this real quick. Ugh. My throat's really starting to bother me. I'm getting over a bit of a cold. That actually kind of has delayed my upcoming video. I've been kind of under the weather, and so I'm going to get this cleaned up real quick. Get paper towel. Probably should not be cleaning it directly over the motherboard. D&D. Dungeons and Dragons. Your ThinkPad vids are my favorite on YouTube. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. I'm flattered that so many people watch my videos. Like, I never thought that I would have most of my viewership come from ThinkPad videos. But it works out because I freaking love ThinkPads, so might as well make some cool videos about them. Somebody offered to send me a few ThinkPad things. He didn't tell me what he has yet, but if it's something cool, then I'll gladly take him up on it. Garbage. There we go. Eventually, this really will be a ThinkPad X220 Tablet hybrid, because for testing purposes, I have the X230 bezel and keyboard, but I'll be putting in an X220 bezel and keyboard as soon as I have money. I currently am a little bit low on cash, because I had to buy textbooks and stuff for school, and that costs a lot of money. Alrighty, so do they want us to take out the bezel first? Okay. I think we're supposed to twist this for you. I actually might replace this bezel too, because it's a little bit beat up. Just a little bit. Is that in there? I think that's in there. All these stinking cables. There's so many stinking cables. Ugh. That's chop. I think they do that because they don't want a virus spreading through the network. Well, if they're so worried about a virus spreading through the network, they obviously need to invest in a better firewall. Because I've been at 2 other universities, and the one made you install a program, but you could literally be running Windows 98 and it would still connect you to the internet. And the other one, you just had your school username and password. You didn't have to install some proprietary software on your computer just to connect to the internet. So, like, I understand that's for security reasons, but, like, I know what I'm doing, obviously, so it really annoyed me. I'm wondering, though, with Lenovo's current trajectory, if we could put meaningful second life on future ThinkPads. They're soldered RAM, non-removable battery. Yeah, I know what you mean. By the way, that shop apparently has a whole trailer full of computers coming tomorrow. So oh, hey, it's guy with the Toyota Corolla. Cool. I was like, what shop? What ThinkPads? And I was like, oh, that cool guy. Is this on? Yes, it is. Ow. Just knocked the stinking ThinkPad over. I can feel the ThinkPad's pain. You know? There we go. Okay. Where are the connectors for the display? So we got one here. They're under this, so I have to kind of lift this back up. Hospital on Tenerife got hacked. Yeah, I know, but when the largest university in Pennsylvania and the second largest university in Ohio can afford to invest in enough network security that they don't have to have students butcher their computers, that's annoying. Okay. I have to take this stupid thing off. Computers. Let's go. Is that in there? I think it is. We'll find out if the backlight fuse blows or not. I don't want to do that, but... There we go. There we go. Now we're good. There we go. Okay. Computers are very much a love-hate relationship. Love them, hate them. Technology is a wonderful thing until it decides not to work. Then it sucks. I don't know how to finish that sentence without being offensive. Anybody here have a ThinkPad X301 or X300? I'm curious. I'm going to be doing a video about the X301 at some point in the future once I get an SSD for it and upgrade the RAM. There is a display upgrade you can do on it, but you have to get it from 51NB, and that is a lot of slack on that cable. You have to get it from 51NB, and you have to get a modified display cable, kind of like with putting the LED display in the T60, except there isn't a person that actively makes them. You just kind of have to hope you can find the right guy. So, right here, by the way, is the M-SATA slot, so if you want to put an M-SATA SSD in, it goes right here. Never seen one. The Pentagon is still paying Microsoft mass amounts of money to keep the custom version of VX updated. It's a lot of Wi-Fi cables. Yeah. If I had money, if I wasn't going into debt to pay for school, I would gladly pay Microsoft a couple extra dollars to keep Windows 7 on my computer, or keep it secure, but, you know, can't have everything, right? I'm looking at the diagram on Lenovo's website. They have make a petition for people to sign some money to them. I'd be up for that. And yeah, I know there's some computers in the military that still use DOS. My orthodontists growing up, they were still using a DOS application for, like, all of the records, all the dental records and stuff. They were still using a DOS application for that until, like, about 2 or 3 years ago. They finally switched to a modern Windows-based application. These cables are very annoying. And then my eye doctor, they, about 5 years ago, switched to modern Windows application, but up until about 5 years ago, they were still using DOS on some of their systems. So that was pretty neat. I have to try and reconfigure these stinking cables. Ugh! I hate these things. Like, I honestly just want to rip them out. Just do that. There. Good enough. Good enough. Now, stay. Bad cable. No, that's good enough. I pay them to bring Vista back because I was one of the few weird ones who actually like Vista. Yeah, Vista was pretty solid after a couple of service packs. Like, I used it briefly. There was a desktop computer I picked up a while ago, and it had Vista on it with all the updates, and it was not terrible. It wasn't amazing, it wasn't good, but it wasn't terrible. That moment when there's screws and you don't remember where you got them from, and now you're trying to figure out where they came from. Yeah, Vista really wasn't awful. Like, it truly wasn't. Just got a bad reputation because it was bad when it first came out. Got T60 coming in the mail sometime tomorrow. Something to give me some work. Something to get me through the workday. I guess I should have put the cable or the screws in before I put the wireless cables in, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. There we go. And now I have to freaking get the cables back in again. Ugh. Hate these wireless cables. Alright. Now we have to get... Close that. Now's a good time to wipe up the desk. Okay. A 3mm and 5mm cable. I have a whole bag of extra screws from various ThinkPad models. We're going to be digging into those, because this laptop was missing some of the screws when I got it. So put a screw in there. Same. Now it is. And then this one goes in there. And then we have one that goes here. Maybe. There we go. Coffee or tea? Coffee. Windows Vista on a ThinkPad. I would love to, but at the time being, as I said, my university does not allow computers with older operating systems to connect to the internet network. And Vista is one of said older operating systems. So, and I wouldn't be able to do a video like that until I go home, where my wireless connection is completely unrestricted. How do I feel about Windows 8? Windows 8 was a train wreck. I'm sure we all know that. Windows 10 is not amazing, but it's better than Windows 8. It's what Windows 8 should have been, in my opinion. I figured out where the extra screw came from. Right there. Yeah, I much prefer coffee. I never really drank coffee when I was growing up. The only time I ever had coffee, like, before college was when I was in high school. We did hoagie sales to raise money for the music trip, where the music ensembles would go to various places to compete and perform. We'd do hoagie sales to raise money. The hoagie sales started at 5 in the morning, which sucked. And it was bad enough getting up early for school, but having to get up super, super early on a Saturday morning, it was terrible. So they had coffee there at the hoagie sale, and I would always drink some. But other than that, I never really had coffee until I got to college. And then once I got into college, coffee pretty much became my best friend, second to ThinkPad. Cold brew coffee with frappuccinos. You might have to hit me up. I'll come out and visit you just to get some cold brew coffee. Battery bezel, or palmrest. So that's the next step. We're going to clean this sucker off. Yeah, this thing's in horrible shape. It's dirty. The texture's coming off the touchpad. This is completely broken off. Somewhere around here, I actually have the piece for it. Surprisingly, the corners of it are not broken off, but yeah, this is going to be replaced. But yeah, I do like me some coffee. So, anybody who likes coffee, fun times. So let's give this a quick wiping. It's not going to be pretty, but don't really care. Because I am going to be replacing this as soon as I get a paycheck. Ooh, that's even dirty under here. Gross. Oh well. Just gonna have to deal with that. I drink coffee when I'm coding in Python. Oh yeah, you would definitely need it for that. Okay. Now we have a palm rest. A really crappy palm rest, but nonetheless a palm rest. Where is the other piece of the palm rest that fell off? Must be somewhere around here, right? Oh, it's right here. And there goes my floss. Here it is. I'm just gonna put that back there because it actually, there's a screw piece that goes there. This is in really poor shape, this poor palm rest. Let's get it plugged in. Not that I really need to, because I'm not going to use the trackpad, but just to make the computer happy and full and complete. Whoops. And this is the part where I have to reach into the screw reserve, as I like to call it. Maybe. And out they go. So these are not X230 screws. I believe these are for the, I don't know what model they're for, but the screws are ever so slightly longer. So the one on top is an X230 screw, the one on the bottom is from this other one. So it's just a tad too long for this thing. But they otherwise fit. So I'm going to put them in. Hopefully it doesn't complain too much about being ever so slightly thicker, or longer, I should say. There we go. Yeah, I don't think this will be a problem. Yeah, it's pretty deep in there. It's fine. No biggie. Okay. 1, 2. 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, there are some instances where you want to make sure you're using the correct length of screw, but sometimes if it's like ever so slightly longer, especially if it's recessed really deeply like this, it's not gonna kill you to use a different size screw. Now, don't use a screw that's like twice as long or is a completely different thickness, because that's how you break the motherboard and crack open a palm or a wireless card. I actually got a T410 once where they used a completely different screw than what they were supposed to, and in the process they destroyed the wireless card. Okay. So now we just have to put the keyboard in, and then we should be good to go, and whoa, that is dirty. Great. No, it's not dirty. Still don't have a webcam on here, but that's okay. We don't need the NSA to spy on us. They get pretty bored with us anyway. Okay. Oh, hello. I just realized the camera was completely... Holy. Once asked a lady if she uses her cats as a laptop stand. What? What? Using cats as a laptop stand? What the heck? That just sounds weird. Okay then. What else do we have here? X200 or X61. Depends on if you like widescreen or full screen. Best laptops to clean are the ones from smokers. Oh god. I hate the smell of nicotine with a passion. I don't really have, like, I don't judge people who smoke. If you're addicted, like, that's your problem. I can't control that. I'm sorry. I feel bad for you. But, like, I just hate it whenever, like, I get a laptop and it just reeks of the smell of cigarettes. It adds a whole new level of crazy to the cleaning and restoring process, because you have to go to such extreme depths just to get it so it doesn't smell. And it's not, like, I could tolerate the smell But especially if it's a computer that I'm going to be selling to somebody else, I don't really want it to be smelling like nicotine for them. So yeah, yuck. So now this is all back together. Oh, I have to put the battery in. Let's put the battery in. So yeah, I hate cleaning laptops from smokers. And then it's also annoying if, it's annoying if I can't figure out how to get the battery in. There we go. It's also annoying if I order a part from somebody and it comes and it smells like nicotine. It's just yuck. Whoa. This one switched. There we go. Alright, we got the battery in. I wonder if the battery has any charge on it. It does! This battery that came straight from China has a charge. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I cleaned a laptop full of cockroaches and they were still alive. Oh my god. That's disgusting. I would have thrown that thing out. I don't smoke, never have, never will. It is a waste of money. I agree. I think pot smells worse. I can agree with that too. I'm setting up a T430S for a buddy now. Windows update time, so nearing the home stretch. Alright, well, at least we have the... That's awesome. Whoa, okay. Okay. We get it. I am amazed that that is holding a charge. That is awesome. Actually, I need to see if this is detecting the palmrest or not. Not the palmrest. Fingerprint reader. There we go. Security. Fingerprint. So it's detecting the fingerprint, so that's good. Cool. Alright, so the last things I have to do is transfer my SSD over from my X220. Transfer it over. Alright, so I thought I had an extra drive cover. Yes, but apparently I don't. Excuse me, I'm just trying to get... Alright, so... Oh, I have an extra 4GB RAM stick. I didn't even know I had that. Cool. Gonna put more RAM in here, upgrade to 8GB. And then I'm gonna... Don't ruin it with Windows. Oh, I'm gonna really ruin this with Windows just to make you happy. Gonna upgrade the RAM to 8GB, and then I'm gonna take my SSD and hard drive out of my X230, put it into here, and see if it can detect all the drivers. Really quickly though, I am going to check. I'm pretty sure, or at least I thought I had an extra cover, or a hard drive cover for the... Human lungs were not made to regularly breathe in smoke. Yep, and that's exactly why the tobacco industry has lobbied to keep tobacco legal for so long. Going through my bag of parts here. There's a bunch more screws. yeah, cigarettes, and now they have e-cigs, or vapes, as the kids call them, which kill your lungs even more. Are you doing the Linux thing tonight? Yes, I am, Mark. I did not forget about you. Just want to get this X230 up and running first, and then we'll dive into Linux. Okay, so I can't find my... I thought I had an extra drive caddy and cover for this thing, but apparently I don't. So I'm just going to get my X230. It's literally under stuff. So here's my X230. It's the one that I've used in several videos before. I'm selling it because I want to use the X230 Tablet. And, you know, I just don't really need to have it anymore. And I need money. So, yeah, so gonna be transplanting my drive over. This is a 3-year-old Windows 7 installation. If I can get the stinking drive out. There we go. There we go. That. Put this off to the side. And we'll just pop it in here. Cool. Is that in there? Yeah, it's no. Ah. What did I do wrong? Why is it not going in? Oh, because I put it in upside down. That's interesting. So, the drive, the pins for the... What? What? Oh, I had it in the right way? Yeah, I was... Never mind. It's just being tricky. Is there something blocking it? We did not make it this far, only for us to... There we go. I think it's in now. Okay. Yep, it's in. Good. I don't know why that was giving me trouble, but it's in now. That's what matters. How much? How much am I selling the X230 for? With a 320 gig hard drive, 8 gigs of RAM, the battery, the Ultra base, I was thinking like $170. If you just want the bare bones system without any RAM storage or whatever, you can negotiate on a lower price. I don't necessarily want to get rid of it, but I just don't have a need for it. I mean, I have 3 other laptops I use on a daily basis, and a desktop computer. It's like I don't need to have more. I don't need it. I don't need to have so much stuff. I would love to just keep all these ThinkPads, but I don't need to have them. And money and space don't allow for that either. I could just sell this X230 tablet now that I think about it and keep my lovely X230, but just the bare system. I would say like maybe $100 some for just the bare system. Like no battery, no hard drive, no RAM. This has classic keyboard, classic palmrest, IPS display. I would say like $100 some. Message retracted. How much does shipping to Europe cost for you? a crap ton. I don't even want to think about how much it would cost. Shipping something to Canada, I actually had another X230 tablet, I shipped it to Canada. That cost like $70 to ship to Canada. So I don't even want to think about how much it would cost to ship to Europe. Shipping to Canada, well, I just answered that question too. Okay, so now we're going to play a game called How Many of the Drivers Will Windows Pick Up When I Turn It On? Turn it on. Where is my... Ah, there it is. Plug that in. Okay. Smoke test! Prices for new computer parts suck in Canada. I agree with you there. $130 with battery and charger, no RAM or hard drive. Mark, send me an email if you're interested in buying and you're located in the United States. Definitely send me an email. I will... Cannot find fingerprint sensor device. That's rude. Guess we have to put in my password. Don't need you seeing that. We have Windows 7 on here, so we have a semi-decent operating system. Installing device driver software. Mark, do you know how to send an email to me? Okay, Mark, go to my channel. If you're watching on mobile, then that might be a problem. But if you're on a desktop, go to my channel and go to About, and then there should be a link to send me an email. And you can send me an email. No, my password is not password. Nice try, though. Okay. So it looks like I'm going to have to reinstall the wireless drivers for this. Wonder if the touchscreen is working. No, it's not. Gonna have to install the drivers for it. Oh well. Okay. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna just open up my keyboard. ThinkPad X230 Tablet wireless driver. Now I need a flash drive. Keep those handy. And take this, throw it in the garbage. Oh, ow. I may be 20 years old, but that doesn't... Shipping will probably be like $15 if you're in the United States. So, okay. I'm looking for wireless. Windows 7, C files, 64-bit. And then, okay, show in folder. Oh, and here's the software that I have to put on my computer. Do you think it's a good deal to pay $50 for a ThinkPad S1 Yoga? As long as it's fully working, that's a great deal. Fellow 1999er, yes, I was born in 1999. Great year. Yeah, $50 for an S1 Yoga, that's not a bad price as long as it's working. I'm not too familiar with the Yoga line. I know they exist. I know people like them, but don't know very much about them. And it's finishing the download. There we go. I'll just drop that over to my flash drive. Ah, yes, I do a little bit of playing cards in my spare time. Not that I have spare time, but you know, good stuff. Oh, now the wireless is working. Yay! Now I can connect to the internet. Why is the battery gauge down there? And it wants me to put my username and password in again. You can look at my glorious water bottle and Golden Girls magnets. It's probably going to say that my antivirus is not up to date. Yep, I have to install more antivirus crap. Oh. Now it says my... Oh, okay, now we're good. Now we're connected to the internet. Great. That's interesting. So right when I go through the effort of installing drivers on the computer, it suddenly decides it doesn't need to. What kind of antivirus do I use? You missed the 1990s, you're lost. Yeah, I wish I grew up in the 90s, buddy. I wish I grew up in the 80s. The 80s was my favorite decade, but oh well. It's not meant to be. What kind of antivirus do you use? I don't use antivirus. The only reason I even have antivirus on this computer is because if I don't, they don't let us connect to the network. And Mark, I will reply to that email as soon as this live stream ends, possibly from this very ThinkPad. And we're going to restart it because it wants to. Or maybe not. Is it? Okay. Okay, cool. We're going to restart it. Ah! Alright, so in the meantime, we are going to install... Let's do Ubuntu. Let's just do Ubuntu, because that's the easiest Linux to do. We're going to do a live... We're going to download... It better not take an hour. Yeah, no. 40, 35, 25, 21, 19, 17, 16, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 10, 10? Okay, not 9? Okay, we're just going to say 10 minutes. Do you do core boot? I talked about that a little bit earlier in this stream. I would like to core boot a ThinkPad at some point. But since I still use Windows for a lot of applications, Windows does not run that well under core boots, so that may not be a good idea. Hey, we got touchscreen. Check it out. Yeah. Look at that. Woohoo! It's the little things that entertain me. And why did it bring up the keyboard? No. Go away. And now it's saying my network asset, blah, 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 blah. Go away. Go away, Adobe. Okay. So I'm gonna have to do Microsoft Security Essentials. It's gonna want me to update my virus stuff. Update definitions. How's this coming? 8 minutes left. Excuse me. Now it's installing updates, and we can increase the brightness on here if we want to. This is a nice IPS to say. Bye guys, have fun. I'm lacking core boot skills. What's the model of the ThinkPad you're selling? This puppy, X230. With a classic keyboard and a classic palmrest. I'm lacking corporate skills. I bought a W530 and a T430. W530, nice machine. And T430 is pretty good stuff too. Yeah, I've thought about doing corporate before, but I'd like to keep my Windows compatibility, so for the time being, that's not a thing. I've heard that corporate and Windows don't get along very well, so. Okay, now my virus definitions are up to date, so in theory, should be able to get online. Google. Yes, we know. Rescan. Remediation successful. So yeah, if you literally miss like 1 day worth of virus updates, it takes you off the network. And the only thing you can do is like open Microsoft stuff and whatever. And then it updates, and once it beeps, I will be able to get back online. So now I do this, Google, and we can go on the internet. Just watching deer walking down the main road. With all this stuff like fingerprint reader or touchscreen work on any Linux, I don't know. We will have to find that out. Touch. Let's do Lenovo. System update. I will not be updating the BIOS on here because I want to do the classic keyboard mod and everything. And now, we have to update system update. Great. How's our download coming? 15 minutes left, you liar. You just said that it was going to be 8 minutes. That's mean. How are the internet speeds at the dorm? Also, is there an option for a hardline in the room? There is an option for the hardline, in fact. Or as other people call it, Ethernet. Excuse the mess. I tend to be very désorganisé. Right down there, we have Ethernet, and it does work. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. That was one thing I didn't like about this other school. This other school, you could only use the Ethernet for game consoles. You could not connect your computer to the Ethernet, and they didn't tell us why, but they were very specific about that. But here, you just plug it in, install that proprietary software, and it works. But for the internet speeds are okay. Okay, now it says I have 5 minutes left. How many ThinkPad drivers are there? That's a good question. I used a bit. I can't read. Intel Management Engine firmware. ThinkPad multi-touch driver, tablet button driver, tablet shortcut menu, and we will not be installing the BIOS update. Actually, let's not do the management engine firmware. What does that even do? I don't know. But we're just not going to do it. Gonna live on the edge. Download. What's life in post-secondary like? Is it as stressful as people say? It can be stressful, but honestly, it's going to be different for anybody. And it's going to depend on what your major is, how much you apply yourself to your classes, what you're like as a person. Some people will, like, I personally, in many ways, post-secondary is actually easier for me than high school was. Just because you have less classes. They're longer classes, and there's a higher workload for the classes, but you don't have as many, so you can focus on one thing as opposed to having, like, 10 other classes to worry about. You also have a lot more freedom. You also have a lot more freedom in how you go about your day, how you make your schedule. Like, you have a lot more control over making your actual schedule for everything. just a lot more independence, a lot more doing whatever you want. And if you make the right choices, do the right things, it won't be stressful at all. If you party on the weekends and you get drunk all the time and you don't study and you don't go to class, then it's going to be very stressful for you. So my major in particular, we have a lot of extra demands that we have to make. We have extra rehearsals we have to do, extra ensembles we have to do. Hey, post-secondary is not entirely a bad thing. It depends on what you want to do. Some people just go right into the trade, they make a lot of money, and have a good time. Other people go to college. College is a bit of a ripoff, especially in the United States, but for some people it's necessary. And some people get very good jobs coming out of college, jobs that pay well, jobs that they enjoy and work at for 40 years. Other people don't. You are a music major, ? Yes, I am. Surprises a lot of people when I tell them. In fact, let's see if I can find some of my music. Is the fingerprint working? Yay, fingerprint works. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Hello? Hey, it works. Cool. Now we can do cool stuff because we have multi-touch. That's awesome. Sweet. Now we're ready for Windows 8. I'm just kidding. Enjoy your telemetry? What? Trying to get into IT computer repair. Yeah, if my college career doesn't work out for me, then maybe I'll do something with computers. I don't know. Alright, Ubuntu is done downloading. So now we're going to go on to Rufus. And we are going to do Ubuntu. Put it on that flash drive. Actually, I should probably make sure there's nothing on that flash drive that's not important. Chapter 1. What's Chapter 1? Oh, music. And then these are all on the computer, so we are good there. I'll actually just make sure. Okay, yeah, they're all in there. Okay, so there's nothing important on this flash drive. Alright, we have that. We have that, we have that, da-da-da-da. Alright, so now we are installing Ubuntu on that flash drive. So here's part 2 of the video. My head teacher is an audio engineer. Did you neuter Intel Management Engine yet? I didn't install it, so yeah. Your head teacher is an audio engineer. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm looking to do with my major. It's a very broad major. It focuses on a lot of other stuff. It has some stuff with like performance, and it has some stuff with the theory and composition side of things, and then a lot of stuff with the production, recording, mastering, live performances, just all this stuff. Very diverse major, very good for just being well-rounded, so I think I have a good chance at getting something with it whenever I graduate. Install Linux Mint. For now, we're just doing Ubuntu because I'm basic and just want something quick and easy. So, do you want me to use Linux on this machine, or do you want me to install it on something else? You might want to try installing Ubuntu. I'm not installing Ubuntu on here, I'm just running the live distro. I'm not actually installing it on here yet. I'm just genuinely curious if I can actually connect to the internet. So at this point, we're pretty much just waiting for the ISO files. So that's the X230 tablet. Good stuff. We got it all fixed. Another project I have here, it's a T430S. This one has a backlit keyboard, and somebody drew circles on the palmrest. This keyboard's in like pristine condition. I should have just put this in the X230. Oh well. And then whoever was talking about the T440p earlier, this is one I just received a few days ago from a viewer. He sold a couple of ThinkPads to me. This one is going to need some work, but it is a very solid machine. It needs a new back panel for the display. It needs a new bottom case as well because of that. It's completely broken off. Needs a new keyboard. I mean, this one is okay, but it's missing the track point and it's pretty worn out. I'm gonna replace this with a T450 touchpad. The screen that came with this was broken. I had a spare T440 display on me. It's just a 1366 by 768 affair. So I installed that I just put that in just so I could test the display. This has the GT730M. So that's always nice. The guy put 2 gigs of RAM in there. I have a 4 gig stick and going to try and get another 4 gig stick. Hi-Fi 4330M. I'm going to probably put a 4702 in there or something along those lines. Core i7 quad core. Nice that it has the GT730M graphics in it. I may look into Hackintoshing this. I would love to do a video on it if I can get it all worked out and installed. Maybe I'll triple boot this all of Linux, Mac OS, and Windows all on one computer. But yeah, definitely upgrading the display, definitely placing this god-awful clunk pad, placing the keyboard, placing that, and gonna replace the bottom cover. Has a 9-cell battery. Apparently there was a thing on here at some point. There's the GT730M cover under there. It's actually in pretty good condition internally. Like, there's not a lot of dust. Not a lot of signs that this was heavily used. Well, that's interesting. This is a PC3 stick. Usually, these won't accept PC3 sticks. Actually, let me see here. Let's see. I'm going to see if this will work. I thought the T440p could only take PC3L, but that is not a PC3L stick. Will it work? Let's find out. See, now we're just doing the mad science experiment while I wait for Ubuntu to finish installing on that SSD. On that flash drive. Hey, cool! I didn't know that. I thought these things could only take DDR3L RAM. Sweet. That literally just made my day. And that saves me the trouble of going out and buying more RAM, because I can just put this in. I did not know that. I honestly thought this could only take DDR3L, but no, it takes standard DDR3. Now I have an extra 2 gig stick. I don't understand why people like the X200, X230, because they're freaking amazing machines. What's not to like about them? And now we have 8 gigs of RAM in there. Cool. And Phantom, pick your poison. Yes. Here's another project I have. Coincidentally, I have this HP ProBook, and the same area of the back panel came off. These were completely separate purchases from completely different sellers, and they somehow have damage in the same area. I don't know how that came to be. And this one is very much like the T440p. It has Haswell processors. It's very easy to open up. You just take this panel off, and then you just stick your RAM in and call it a day. And you have your hard drive there, you have your processor here. Just like the T440p, it is a socketed chip. And then you have your RAM, optical drive, and then here you have the wireless card and the M.2 slot. Interestingly, so the T440p, if I can get it open here, message retracted. So T440p, both the wireless card and the M.2 slot, it's like the M.2 slot type. I don't know what the name for it is off the top of my head. The HP ProBook here, which is from the same generation, it uses an M.2 slot for the LTE modem, but the wireless card is the older type of slot, which is like what was used on the T430. So that's kind of interesting. This particular model only has onboard graphics, but they did make a version with an AMD graphics card. I am going to be doing a video on this, and I will be comparing it mostly to the T440p since they're very similar machines in terms of performance and features and I/O and all that. So, see a video on this soon. Okay, guys, can we not get into a comment war? Like, honestly, like, can we please keep things civil? Not quite sure what's going on, but knock it off. Alright, so Linux or Ubuntu is now on the drive. So here's the great project. Here's the star of the show today. This here is the Lenovo ThinkPad X301. The X300 and X301 were essentially Lenovo's answer to the MacBook Air. It's an ultra-portable laptop. This came out in 2008. Very thin. Like, this thing is, even by today's standards, it is remarkably thin. And it has a optical drive and everything. Like, it's pretty full-featured. So, interestingly, it has the indicator LEDs on the side, as opposed to on the top. And then it actually has this soft touch material on the palmrest. Now, the only annoying thing about this is that this is going to wear down over time and eventually deteriorate, and that sucks, but at least it looks nice and feels nice. It has a power LED built in, or it has a power LED built into the power button. I think this was the first ThinkPad that did that, or the X300 was. Indicator LEDs are built into the keyboard as opposed to the bezel of the screen. So that's kind of a throwback to like some of the older IBM R and T series machines that did that. This has a 13-inch 1440 by 900 display. It's not the best. It's reasonably bright, but it's a TN panel. So there's Linux. There's the good stuff. It's at least opening. Uh-oh. Tripod kind of fell over. Let's see how Ubuntu runs on here. Ubuntu is one of the heavier Linux distros, so if this runs decently well, then any other Linux distro will probably run alright. Oh god, it's almost 3 in the morning. Great. Good thing it's Friday. Don't have to worry about classes or anything. This has a ThinkLight, so that's nice. Has built-in webcam. Swipe off the screen. It's a little bit filthy. This is going a little bit slowly, but it's not too bad. Try Ubuntu. Because I don't have a hard drive for this. This uses non-standard 3 point... Not... I heard... What? Okay, I'm just going to ignore that. This uses non-standard 1.8-inch drives as opposed to 2.5-inch drives. So you can either get a 1.8-inch SSD or a hard drive, or you can get... that doesn't look good. Error connecting to TPM chip. Huh. What was I going to say? You can either get a 1.8-inch drive or you can get a 1.8-inch to mSATA adapter and use an mSATA SSD. So, okay. And we have computer. So let's see if I can connect to the Wi-Fi. CalNet. I don't know if I'll be able to connect to it. Hotspot login. Register your device. Put my I was gonna say something and I completely forget. What was I talking about? I don't remember. Oh well. Okay, please close and reopen your browser. Can we internet? It's loading. It's just taking its good old time. Can we Google? Because it is connected to the internet. Sure taking its good old time, though. I mean, I know it has to load off a flash drive, but still. I was hoping it would be a little bit faster. It is pretty snappy, though. I mean, like... We aren't really doing anything just yet, but it's not bad. I wonder if this installed anything on my computer. Put in an SSD. Phantom, I can't put an SSD in here. This uses 1.8-inch drives. And I don't have any 1.8-inch drives on me. So, I'm gonna have to get one of those. I just wanted to, that's why I have this on a live disk as opposed to installing it on the computer. Okay, Google doesn't want to load. Do I have to... No. I don't normally use Firefox, so I'm like, what am I doing? Okay, this is just being slow. What browser do you use? Chrome. Alright, it's not connecting to the interwebs. That's disappointing. Keyboard's very nice, and the fact that this thing exists proves that you can have a very thin and light laptop while still having a good keyboard. I don't get why some of the larger ThinkPads don't have the classic keyboard as an option, because, oops, because look at this. I mean, look at how thin this is, and it still has the classic keyboard, and it feels fantastic to type on. Alright, so it's not connected to the internet, even though it says it is. That's irritating. How do I go to my history? This is the part of the video where you see how stupid I am. Ah, there we go. History. It says it's empty. Huh. So I can't seem to get connected. Yes, I know, there are 3 ThinkPad keyboard manufacturers. But still, why can't they have this keyboard in the new ThinkPads? That would be... I'm sure there'd be a lot more people buying them if they had the classic keyboard. Hello? So it is connected. It's just... it doesn't want to load websites or something. Anybody know how to, like, make it work? This is so irritating. Like, it didn't say that it couldn't connect to the internet. Okay. Now it's working. What the heck? Okay, I guess closing and reopening Firefox fixed the problem. I won't complain, though. And it didn't, like, make me install anything. That's interesting. Let's see how well YouTube plays on this thing. We have 4 gigabytes of RAM. We have a Core 2 Duo something, something, something. Let me see if I can... it's... Hello? There we go. I mean, it's decently snapping considering its age. I don't remember what processor's in it. It's some, like, ultra low voltage Core 2 Duo. So I'm interested to see how this handles YouTube videos. I'm gonna look at a video from my other channel, Sebi's Random Stuff. It's me riding the T, which is a light rail system in Pittsburgh. So at 480p it plays just fine. Can we do 720p? This is 60 frames per second, so it might struggle. Uh-oh, it is struggling. Let's give it a second. Maybe it just needs to catch up. No, that's not happening. It's loading, like it's all loaded. It's just the processor can't keep up. Let's go back to 480p. That was atrocious. Yeah, now it's working fine. Let's see if it can do full screen. Yeah, watching movies on my live. Can you guys see it? Like, can you see this? Because on my screen, the live chat's still there, but it's frozen. Okay, so 480p video, it streams without any issues. Yeah, it's frozen. Okay, we're gonna start this stream again.